I need music. I need theme music. Yeah. So one of these days I'll have music because I think my videos would be better if I had some music. Anyway, so this video is going to be trigger warning, not anything like that, but if things like menstruation, blood, female issues makes you squirmy, now would be the time to exit stage left. This conversation is just for those who want to have a discussion about menstrual cups and my experience and kind of why I started using them. Um, so like it's one of those things like I just found out about nope, I can't even say I just found out about cups. When I was younger in high school, I noticed my cousin used them, my older cousin, and we would crack up like, yo, how do you put a cup in your vagina? And this is like right before I started using tampons myself, because then I was still scared to put in a tampon, especially being in a Christian family and the whole virginity thing and your hymen and all that misconceptions that we tell our young ladies as it relates to their sexual body parts, reproductive body parts. So I'm determined not to have my daughter go down that road. Anyway, so yeah, never really been a fan of pads, because of sports, playing basketball, and then a big old chunky pad shifting, and you got on white home game shorts. Is just not a place that you want to be in. So started using tampons, and that was already like a deal and a half. Like I remember my first time using one, I was like, yo, am I supposed to feel this? Like this, I couldn't have put it in right. So in my head, I couldn't even imagine putting in a cup. So I was like, I don't know how my cousin uses that. And then I remember having a conversation in college later because I had a friend who was allergic to the material in the pads, and she did not like tampons. And so I was like, what about cups? And she looked at me like, bitch, please. Like, I'm not using no cup. And so I think that was my last thought process as it related to cups until recently. And this is because, like, as I've gotten older, my cycle has changed. I don't know, after having my daughter, and then moving into a place where I want to have better health. Pads for me just don't seem sanitary. I don't like it. The risk of leakage and just all around bad stuff. And then it's like you're sitting there with it drying under you, and it's like I can't. And then now the tampons, it's getting to the point where I've run through too many during a cycle. Like I shouldn't be running through this many super pluses. And then they're getting irritating, like the actual cotton, and like I can feel it being irritating and itchy, and it just doesn't make me feel healthy. So and then I was clotting way too much and things like that. So I decided to look into menstrual cups, and like while all of the world has been changing, especially access to women's hygiene, feminine hygiene items, especially with the panty pads and the wearable pads and period underwear and things like that, and then some women who actually out here free bleed and things like that. So I'm really trying to take back this control over your femininity, because we run from our periods. Like we've even changed the commercials that we have. There's no longer the blue liquid. It's like, what the fuck is that blue liquid for? Like we bleed. Like, dude, like it's what it is. And so it's like we've been real PC and real, you know, censored about how we treat this very, very powerful time in women's life. So like we don't talk about what it is and how it feels and what that energy level is doing, and that flow and what's happening there. So when you start to take more control over that, you want to understand it more. And for me, it just kind of, tampons feel like a plug, and then pads just, yeah. I'm still a little worried about the disposable or the washable underwear thing. I don't know how that, like, how do you, yeah, don't know how that works. Um, And even the reusable pads, I feel those are seem a little different because you can go rinse those off, but it's like how many do you have to carry around with you, and you got to go to the bathroom with this big pack of stuff and wash out pads in the sink, and it's like I've had jobs where I don't have the opportunity to go to the bathroom like that, and so it just didn't seem economically or no functional for me. So Diva Cups just made sense, especially since you can wear one for up to 12 hours. You can go swimming and things like that. So my first use, I was being cheap. Well, not being cheap. I was working with the funds that I had at the time. And it was like, so do I buy pads this time or do I buy the cup? So I went to Walgreens and they had like disposable ones. So you wear it once and then you remove it and put in another one. So it comes in like a pack like tampons would. First of all, it didn't look like a cup. It looked like a diaphragm with a plastic shield on it. Like the cup, I get the plastic part is supposed to expand down, but it really looked like a Nuva ring meets saran wrap. And I was like, what did I just get myself into? Like, no, this is not gonna work. So use that, and it horribly leaked. One got stuck and I got scared, like I couldn't get it down at first. So I was like, okay, no, you're gonna go get the regular cups. You're gonna spend the money and get the Diva Cup. And I got the Diva Cup primarily just because it was one that was available to me like immediately. I didn't have to search online, find a distributor, wait for it to come in the mail. I can go to the store and buy it. This is the third time I'm using it, and I'm not going to say might. I'm most likely going to be switching or researching another type to use. I will include some resources on this video just in case you want to look into it for yourself. I know Naturotica she says she carries one that is thinner. So once I explain the Diva Cup, I'll explain why I want to get one that has thinner plastic will make sense to you. So if you've never seen the cup, and I can't show it to you right now. I know a lot of girls pull the cup out in their video. Right now, I'm wearing it, so I can't show you. But the silicone is pretty thick. So when you have to fold it, so it looks like a little cup, and you have to manipulate it and fold it so that it can be small enough to insert. And because it's thick silicone, it's intimidating when you first look at it. And then they have two different types, and it's based on your age and whether or not you've had children. So I'm over 30 and with a child, so I get the bigger cup. So it makes sense. But it's still an intimidating cup to look at. You're like, yo, okay. But then it's like, yo, if you had a baby, my big-headed child came out, so this should be okay, right? And so, folding it, getting it inserted, and then you read the directions, and it tells you to turn it. Oh, so you want me to turn this flimsy little cup inside with my fingers? So, first time was very, very difficult. I didn't get the folding right, and it just, I was leaking way too often. I was like, I could have worn a tampon for all of this shit. I'm going to the bathroom every hour to try to fix and rotate this thing. So, next cycle came around, I was like, okay, I'm determined. I'm going to use it. I'm going to keep going. Yeah, still same issues because I still hadn't discovered the exact methods that work consistently. Like, there was sometimes that it was like, okay, cool. Like, I was good for like 10 hours one day, and then the next day I was changing it 3 times in an hour or fixing it 3 times an hour. So that's when I, of course, took to YouTube this time, and I was like, okay, I've determined to find another method, another folding technique, another tip for popping this back into place. Because once you fold it, you have to make it so that it pops back open so that it can collect. Because it's leaking because most likely, not because it's full, most likely it's leaking because it's shifted. And so understanding the shape and tilt of your pelvis and your vagina and popping this thing and getting your fingers up. So it's just it seems intimidating, seems like a lot of work, and everybody's like, well, why can't I just use the applicator to put the tampon in? So I'm feeling like once I get the hang of it, my intimidation about it won't be as bad. But I will say from this perspective, from the reasons why I wanted to use the cup versus the other methods that we've been taught to use, is because my cycle changed. The clotting wasn't as bad. The flow was heavy on the first days, but then by the last one, it was like non-existent. Um, so the cramping changed for me. I'm not as um, bent over as I usually am at this time. And then again, that has a lot to do with some of the other steps that I'm taking towards understanding sexual reproductive health. Because I accompany that with some yoni eggs and yoni steaming, and starting to get more into writing and releasing creatively. Sorry, my tongue's all tied up. So trying to clear out the blockages that exist in that sexual space that do end up impacting us in the physical sense. So if you don't think that the mental and spiritual things that you allow in your center, especially the men that we let enter our lives and enter that sacred space, if you think that it doesn't have an effect on your cycle, think again. Um, so, and everybody's probably wondering, like, why are you telling me this? Why are you making a video about this? Because I just wanted you guys to have somebody who speaks on the level like you do, um, or somebody you can relate to, see use it or talk about it and talk through their struggles. Especially because when you type in diva cups, like a lot of the first people that you get, they wouldn't understand trap music, trap queen. So it's like I'm trying to usher into spaces that we don't normally talk about these things with each other and starting those conversations. We need to have more of these conversations in the hood about our reproductive health, our energy, our bodies, the things that we allow inside, and the way we project outward. So again, it's about creating space, not forcing anybody into anything, but just simply stating, this is who I am, this is where I am, this is what I've come across. And if you want to, here, you could try it. So a lot of people, we did transition into real quickly, like when people talk about their healers or they want to help people, you have to understand that only people who are ready for you to help them can be helped. So keep that in mind when you're trying to do this work. So I'm not out here trying to force you into anything. Just do you some research, and if you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. If you want to know my experiences, I'm sharing those with you here. So I'm probably going to be trying a different method or different cup next month because I'm still having some problems with this cup. And I will let you know how that goes once I try that one next month. All right.